The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
The best ideas are free with Ben Young from Bwaggy.com.
BWAGY.com. Also on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
It is Ben Young.
Good morning.
G'day there, Ben. How you doing?
Good. Really good.
Lovely weekend?
Yeah, really good weekend. A bit stormy in Auckland, but I think the rest of the country was in a similar position.
A good time to be hunkered down, writing in your journal.
Yes.
Which is our topic of... that's my segue, my attempted segue.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about journals.
Journals.
Here's my flash new journal.
Oh, it's a black journal. It's like
yes.
It's a big black book.
Yeah, it's very nice and plain. It's just got regular pages. It's got those little ribbon things so you can split it. But basically, last week, I think I'm up to my 6th or 7th journal, I forget. But I've got, I think, 7 years of notes back till the start of uni. No, it must be longer than that.
And that's an old school because it's what is that? What's that? That pagey? Is that paper?
Yeah, that's paper.
Paper. And what's that other thing you're holding? A pen?
Yeah, pen.
I haven't seen one of those in years.
So yes, I wanted to talk about the value of a journal. There's a lot of things like task managers and to-do apps and all that kind of stuff on iPhones and on your computer and iPads and all that kind of stuff, and note takers, and just the list goes on.
Yeah.
And all that seems to happen is you compound all these extra problems. Now you've got to deal with this app or that, or you've written notes over there and you've lost them. I met someone last week who obsessively wrote notes on single pieces of paper but could never retain the piece of paper.
Yeah. I'm personally, I am really bad at this myself.
Yeah.
Someone will remind me that I need to do something, and what will I do? I'll send an email to myself, which then goes into my inbox, and then builds up, and then disappears somewhere down the bottom of the page, and then eventually onto a second page, and it's gone.
Yeah. Well, someone's probably sent you 40 emails by the time you get back to it. And it's 6 months old.
Yeah.
But so what I wanted to talk about was developing the habit of writing in a journal.
Okay.
Now, so the key thing with a journal is to keep it on you whenever you're going to need to write notes. So typically for most of us, 9 to 5 and maybe a little bit after work.
You're always holding that.
Yeah,
journal,
well, during the day.
Yeah.
You see me at breakfast or dinner.
It's your best friend.
Much. Pardon?
It's your best friend, isn't it?
Yeah. So, and if you keep it on you all the time, you can capture all the notes and fleeting comments that come and go. So what I do is I jot down the date every time I open it up. So at the start of each day, and then during the day I'll jot down notes like today I've just got some things I need to do. I've got my notes for this actual radio program here, which is ironic enough.
Yeah.
On the previous page I've got a picture of how we're doing a podcast at work, which you're involved in. And then from Friday I've got notes from all my meetings in terms of these are the priorities, this is what we need to look at. And then especially for me, I always jot down all these little ideas I have. And the day before, I've got some pictures which I was showing a client.
Because you're always going to have the odd brain spaz.
Yeah.
In between here and there, or you should be thinking about something else, but you have a brain spaz about that, and you need somewhere to put it. Yeah.
So the key is to get the idea down in writing, because once it's down in writing and you've been through that process, it helps you remember it, but also prioritises it.
Okay.
And once it's down on record, you're more likely to do something.
Yeah.
Whereas. And this is still the disconnect that I sometimes find that to-do managers and all that kind of stuff on computers have, is that it feels so disposable. You can remove something, but there's something about crossing out your own writing or ripping a page out. It feels more destructive, whereas on an app you kind of feel less guilty about removing tasks.
Yeah.
So in a way it helps keep you much more disciplined. If you write something down, you're more likely to follow it through. If you don't think it's worthwhile, you'll probably either cross it out and realise that it isn't worthwhile.
Do you need to also schedule in time to go back and revisit stuff that you've written, especially ideas, random ideas?
So I do that, but if you're just getting started, don't stress about that, because the key thing is you've got this record. So that 6 months down the track, you can go through it.
Yeah, right.
I was looking through my last journal, and that was from February earlier this year.
Yeah.
So that was cool, just flicking through and seeing, what ideas I had. So it's cool if you can do that, but don't fret if you're not straight away. That one of the handy things I find is someone rings me up and says, "Oh, we had this meeting back in May. Do you remember this?" So I look at my Google Calendar where I schedule my meetings.
Yeah.
See that it was maybe May the 17th, and go back through my journal till I find May 17th.
Huh.
and then I'm like,
And you see
oh
all the
yeah, it
ideas
was
in
this website.
I tell you what, I probably would have got entrepreneur of the year by now if I had written down all those ideas the past few years.
We still need to action them. But I think, honestly, this is the first step to being able to do that, rather than letting them slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And any particular form that you for people listening, what would you recommend?
So I've just got a basic, I think it's A6. It's slightly bigger than a regular book.
I think it should help that it's a nice item.
Yes,
not
yeah. So
not a little 1B5 or whatever.
Yeah, so I've got a nice, it's not leather, it's fake leather, but the leather ones are quite nice. I've just grown into the habit of using this particular one. And it is nice to take along to a meeting. It makes you look more professional.
Makes you look busy as well, doesn't it?
But also, if you meet someone and you're jotting down notes, it signifies the importance of this meeting. Because you're listening, things are going on the record. So it changes the perspective quite a bit, which people will often notice. My business partner, Duncan, he doesn't like the smaller journal. He's got a big A4, and he doesn't have lines in his so that he can draw bigger pictures and write a bit
Diagrams
more abstractly. So it's all about what you prefer, in terms of if you have a nice leather one, it does look much more professional. Lined or unruled, it doesn't really matter.
I'm going to have to rediscover ink.
Yes.
I haven't seen that stuff in years.
Yes. It makes a big difference.
Thanks very much, Ben.
Cool. Cheers.
Find out more at bwaggy.com, bwagy.com. Also, continue the conversation on Twitter, twitter.com/bwaggy.